Ready for the mosh pit, shaka bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast Player One vs. Was Life is Strange fan podcast. This is the StrangeCast X Lost Records Journal crossover episode for our Patreon special. It's episode 127, Side B. I am with your co-host, Adnan and Riaz. My co-host, Adam Evalt. Is it? Adam, you're here?
I am here. Look what I can do. I can't do it anymore. I have a mustache now. Remember you used to get your pencil and just like have a fake mustache when you were a kid? Did you ever do that in England?
Do you know the first 30 seconds is where the drop-off rate happens on YouTube, and because you messed that up, we've just lost all our viewers and they've gone?
Look, it's made of rubber. Look, everybody. Look, Gen Z. Up here. Eyes up here. Here. Here, rubber.
Yes, there we go. So Adam has failed with his magic trick. We are back for our Patreon episode. I like how you criticize Gen Z and you're just like this now playing with it. Like the attention spans are very revealing there, aren't they?
Have you seen the Robert Pattinson interview where he thinks he's Gen Z? He
No.
genuinely believes he's Gen Z.
How old is he?
It's well, that's what they asked him, dude. It was a Vanity Fair interview, like it was a video interview. So there's a clip of him saying, "It's like, well, I'm Gen Z." They're like, "You're not Gen Z. You're millennial."
Oh,
like,
he is
Gen Z.
not. He is born in
kept
1986.
And he's like, and he says, like, "I'm Gen Z," and then they're like, "Well, what year were you born?" And he goes, "It doesn't matter." They're like, "It does matter." Like the Vanity Fair article, they're just like, okay, sure, you're Gen Z. Like they just gave up on him. Like, okay, you're 1986. He's Gen Z.
There are some people who shouldn't do interviews. He is one of them. Like if I became famous, heaven forbid, I would never do an interview with someone ever.
No.
Because it would just destroy the aura of how bad I really am. I'm not that kind of person. Adam, put the pen down. Focus on podcast here.
Gen Z.
There you go. But no, I wouldn't do a podcast. I wouldn't do any interview. So I was like, not a chance. There's no way I could do that. You'd never be able to last in it. But yeah, Adam, we're back.
Yes.
Side B is here. So if you are new here first, guys, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, and share with your friends. It helps support the channel, helps you up to date with the channel. And StrangeCast and the Lost Records Journal are available on podcast services. So check us out on Spotify with the video versions, Apple Podcast. Go and check us out there. Go and rate us. Go and download us to get instant access to your podcast episodes as soon as they become available. If you are tuning in as well, this is our Patreon special. We have a Patreon submitted topic that we have a section for people every month. Patreon users submit questions and topics or whatever they want us to talk about, and we create that around one of the episodes. So we base it around what they're saying in that episode, what they would like us to discuss. So, Adam, should we get back into our Patreon users as well, because we're following on from our last part?
Yes, I would like to see this.
Yes, I think probably the big one would be the one that you alluded to towards the end of the last episode. As you can see here, I'm going to pull up on the screen. Going back down here, I think it was to Ashlyn who talked about the Clare Obscur part, which is there. She put there, I'd like to know your takes on the Indie Game Awards with the disqualification of Clare Obscur Expedition 33 using AI. I kind of feel bad because I feel like AI is a tool that could be used in some cases. A lot of games seem to use some sort of AI for their NPCs and interactive characters, but I feel there must be a huge difference between what's been used in the past and what Expedition 33 used. Also, do you feel there should be a revote for the Indie Game of the Year?
So I have a couple takes on this one as someone who's played Claire. What's that?
Do you think it's worth us reading the news piece out for extra context?
No. Everybody knows about it. Like here's the thing. Like I'm like TLDR. The Indie Game Awards said that Clare Obscur will no longer be at their awards ceremony because they use generative AI as placeholders, as asset placeholders within the game. They've since taken it out before they released the game. They said like these were just placeholders. But now like the game has no AI in it, but because they used it in their production, therefore they cannot be in the Indie Game Awards. What a thing to disqualify Clare Obscur for. Like, we need to talk about like the Indie Game Awards, but they were funded by Kepler Interactive. They have a publisher. You're disqualifying them for generative AI, but like they were funded by Kepler. Not funded, but I shouldn't say that. They're published. They're published by Kepler Interactive. They're not necessarily indie. They have 33 people in their studio, but they have all this outsourcing. We don't even know what the budget was for this game. Something to say that like this is disqualifying for the Indie Game Awards and it's generative AI. Like that's something wild to me based off of like Kepler Interactive. So it's not to say like to have any publisher disqualifies you to be indie, right? But that's wild to me. I've said this before that I do not believe that AI is a absolutely chaotic like bad for this world.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a tool. What Ashlyn is referring to, that they have always used AI for their NPCs, which is absolutely true. AI for NPCs is a binary code to say if this happens, then this happens. It is an algorithm, right? An artificial intelligence to operate all of your NPCs is an algorithm, but now we have a different algorithm that is taking jobs. So there is some backlash to that. Like the AI is taking jobs. It is like not just taking jobs, it is replacing jobs. It is taking up data centers, buying farmland here in America, building data centers that are actively um uh what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's damaging the water sources to these communities, right? There's a thing with generative AI that is actually a detriment to this country, to the world, I should say. However, like what Ashlyn is saying, it's a tool. And I think that if we use it as a tool, I think it's totally fine. What Expedition did, what that team did, they had placeholders until they can get the team to make the art so that other departments can continue their jobs whilst not also waiting on the art departments, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have placeholders in that way. And same thing with Don't Nod. They had a placeholder voice command until they get the voice actor in to give their line so that a department can keep working while the other department does their job. So it's all collaborative. And that way nobody stops working production just because they're waiting for the art department. I do believe generative AI has its place. Jason Schreier had a great tweet to say that like, or Blue Sky, by the way, a Blue Sky. Jason Schreier said that not verbatim, but he basically said, well, what are we getting disqualified for? Like they use ChatGPT to make their scheduling, right? Or they use Copilot to schedule out things. Like how far are we going to go into the production of a game development, but they use generative AI for like scheduling and administrative tasks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think to disqualify Clair Obscur for the use of AI, I think if it made to the final product, because what AI is, it is just concept. It is merely just concept.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave your concept art in the game is unfinished,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you go to a construction site and you have support beams to a house, but you just leave those support beams in, what that's not, you know what I'm saying. But like there's some things that like it's unfinished. You're a writer, Adnan. You used to be in journalism. If you had your rough draft for an article and say, "Yep, that's it. That's my article." There's no editing. There's no editing. No, it's not. It's not finished. It's not a real article. You have your rough, and then you just from there you edit it. You give it to your editors. They edit it. So I don't know, man. Like they fixed it. They used it, but they took it out of the game. How far are we going to go into this? That AI is always going to be a tool, but it shouldn't replace jobs. I don't know. They're going on a really strong stance here, but I think we need a gray neutral stance on what AI is because it's here to stay.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
See, this entire controversy sums up why I think the world is full of hypocrites, and every single person is full of it, including me, you, and every other person listening to it. Because, for example, let me just point this out. When people are so staunchly AI anti on every front, if you use Microsoft's programs, you're using AI. even if you use
Yeah.
Siri, for example, because most people you'll be using AI. If you live in the United States and you have a 401k and you live in the UK and you have a pension, where do you think your money is being invested? Those big
Yeah.
corporations that you utterly despise, your money is being directly in there. I see it all. This is why I hate about doing one of those commentaries I see in the gaming industry where it's like, the stockholders are doing this and stuff. You are also a stockholder, because if Apple tanked tomorrow or Nvidia tanked tomorrow, you would lose a lot of money, because where do you think your money is being invested? It's invested in index funds, and they all have Nvidia
Yeah.
and Apple in them and other companies, because they are the behemoths of it. If the Apple
Yeah.
fell tomorrow and it's like 4 trillion, and the same with Nvidia, let's see what happens to the markets and see the reactions to stuff like that. What the point I'm making here is, as you said, where's the gray area? For example, should we go and take Jennifer English's award back from the Game Awards? Different ceremony, but principles here. We're setting a precedent.
Yeah.
The Indie Game Awards is now putting its foot out there. Let's go and get Jeff Keighley to go and grab Jennifer English's award and take it back. No, because despite her performance or whatever human love she gave to it, you're in an AI game, so get it out. For example,
Yeah.
if Michel was told to use AI in his game from Netflix and he had no choice on it, would you buy it or not? Even if you love
Yeah.
Michel and everything else, would you buy it? Of course you would, because you'd support his stance on it. Even if he didn't agree with it and he was forced to use it, hypothetically speaking, just using him as a
Yeah.
textbook definition, would you support him? Of course you would, because you'd be, at least he stands on his principles. But if it's out of his control, it's out of his control. So it's like same with
Yeah.
the game production. For me,
No.
how they used AI, and even with the director coming out and explaining it, not a major issue in terms of how they're
Yeah.
using AI and using it. You can't stop generative AI. This is where my views come out. You can't stop it. You have to adapt with the climate of it. It can't replace someone's job, because we still need artists to do their jobs. We need things. However, if it can be used the way that they have, for example, and the director said it, this is a quote from the director,
Placeholders.
right? This is literally a quote
Yeah.
from the director, from Guillermo Brosh, who said, this is what he said in return of this. Everything in the game is human made. When AI first really came out in 2022, we'd already started the game. It was just a tool. We tried it and we didn't like it at all. It felt wrong. We had originally used it as a placeholder for textures we missed, but we took it out as soon as we found it. But yeah, the concept, voice art, everything is human made. Accountability, owns what's happened. That's it. We move on. Ultimately, the game is a love project. Just because it had AI in it at one point or another, where are the grey lines? Should we strip Claire Obscur of every single award? Should we go and dig down deep into every single one? Does the Indie Game Awards use any of the AI softwares that are from the big tech companies? Do they use Microsoft Office? Do they use any of Microsoft's programs? Do they use PowerPoint when they're doing the presentation? Were they using any of them? Are they that anti-AI, for example? Were they streaming this award ceremony on YouTube? The second biggest search engine in the world, which is owned by Google, which is running Gemini free, and it's running all those AI programs. Where is your stance on this? How far do you really go into this?
It's like a very strong stance, and some people are appreciative of the strong stance, but at the same time, I'm like, I think this is my stance. I've said this in every podcast that I possibly get into, every person's face that I can. I think that in a construction site, you have hammers and screwdrivers, but the second you say like, well, we have hammers and screwdrivers, so we don't need construction workers. How's the house getting built? You know, like these are tools, but you still need human guidance. You still need an artist's mind to make that junk into what it is. AI is a tool. It's a tool. And to take this stance, like no tools. No, you have to build this house by hand like the Amish did.
Let me point this out as well. I'll call you out here for as well. You were joking last episode where you said, for example, here's a great AI text where it like reads off from Google and picks out the things from you. That takes away from my job. That's scraping the internet and taking clicks away from me that I've done my job. And you're fine with doing that, but it's like, and it's detrimental to me. So whilst our industry and the journalism industry is getting killed apart by AI, it's like, but that's fine. So it's like for me as well, I've spoken about this otherwise. I'm like, whatever Google algorithm changes and stuff, we adapt to it, because ultimately they are the tech behemoth. They're going to do what they need to do. We have to survive in that industry, and we change with it. Good or bad, whatever repercussions come from it, that's what happens with it. There's only a fine line of how much you can do. If the Gen AI was the actual person creating all the assets, I mean, come on. That's like, for example, Lance Armstrong winning 5 Tour de France's and then being like, afterwards, he's like, well, I use this. It's like, we'll take your awards away here, because that
I don't
is
think
cheating.
like that's the thing. I don't think AI is going to go away, but I think the future, like them saying like, oh, AI is going to get bigger. I think AI is going to get more regulated. If we need
Yeah.
to have more, like in the same way that the printing press when it first came out, it started wars because like people could just write anything and just pass it out as anything. But once they regulated like the printing press, and once they regulated like how do we differentiate truth from falsehood, when we say like, oh, like it's just here to stay, you're gonna have to, it's gonna get better. No, it's gonna get more regulated. And I think when it becomes more regulated, I think we're gonna get a better time with it. And I think we're just not even gonna think about it as much. That's the answer to this. Not like to get rid of it entirely, but to regulate like how we do things with it. So I don't know. Like I
This
said,
is this is
what a wild thing to get disqualified for.
but this is only blown up because of the Larry and stuff that's happening at the same time. I think that's what's added the fuel to the fire of this situation. I think that's
Larian is
why
just dumb for saying that, dude. Like, dude, keep it to your fucking self, man. What are you doing?
we literally had an hour podcast off Figgy about this, me and you. We were talking about me and Adam spent an hour before the first podcast part we recorded, and we were literally doing this. He's like, why would anyone do it? I was like, why wouldn't you? I was like, Adam, people do this after appearance. I was like, you get bored.
I
Why
know.
not? People do it.
Because they're just
People do it. You
oh,
can't stop it. Everyone has an opinion where it's like, eventually it's like, and it comes out and like, there it
but
is.
it's just like
It's like, here we go. It's like,
whenever
here we go.
when you know that like, hey man, I really hate when people poop in our steps. Like we've all invited our whole to go to your specific house. We're all pooping on your steps right here, right now. It's me, Larian Studio Director, pooping on your step.
Mate, it
Me.
happens. I told you I adore when I get deeper into Freud, and I'm gonna get into it as well. Like, they say that Freudian slip for a reason. People like to say things that they're subconsciously buried in their minds, and that's one of them, for example. Like, but I'm talking about
Like
like but
I,
with this
I
though, where's the line though? Strip them of every
yeah.
award. Should we look at the indie game awards? Put yourself out there. Let's see all your assets, what you're using, what you're doing. Tell me you're not using a single bit of AI in the
Yeah.
preparation for this in any way, shape, or
I
form. Tell me
think
that.
I think though that like if we're talking about banning them for using AI, if it is just like 100% fully generative AI, like in the same way that like if a journalist went into your business and just said like, yeah, I can write articles and just uses chat GPT, are they a journalist?
Yeah,
No.
fired.
Like they're getting fired. In the same way that like if you're a musician, like, dude, I remember um I can't talk about the game that I'm working on right now. Can't really talk about it. But I was looking up like, hey, how can I make this type of music? Like, give me some ideas, references, like what's the key I should be in? The very first thing is like, for Suno AI, how do I make this type of music? What prompts am I using? What am I doing wrong? I'm like, you're not a musician. You what prompts am I using for Suno? Then you're not a musician. Then the hell are you talking about? So no, it's just I think it needs to
It's
be regulated.
it needs to be regulated, but also the gaming industry needs to be regulated. Like, people need to be reeled in for their egos as well, because like it will help studios in certain ways. Not generative AI in the way that they're kind of like this is all being blown up with. It's just about how AI is being used. So, for example, again, double exposure. They used Alex Chen's character to start with, whilst they were making the rest of the assets because they didn't have Max Caulfield made. If it can help developers in certain ways, then it can support the process when it's used properly. You even said it with the coding thing, where you're like, if there's a way of AI just picking out one line of coding which someone has done properly, rather than them sitting there for 50 minutes scraping through all this code to try
Yeah,
and figure it out.
because AI is good at finding patterns. Like
Yeah.
we're only talking about generative AI because it sees the patterns of other artists and spits out the pattern. Like AI is good for finding a pattern. So if you're going through 50 lines of code, if AI can find the pattern and
Mhm.
then you can get the production that much faster and get games out faster because of what it can do,
Yeah.
all for it. But like, yeah, indie game awards, like I would like to think that like I've taken a pretty gray area stance on AI. Like I think on this podcast, I'm trying to communicate that like I'm very gray area on AI. I don't like it when I say like I'm against AI, I'm against that Suno thing. Like, how do I make this type of music, but with Suno? How can I prompt it? I'm against that. I'm against it. You're lazy. I'm saying this right now. You're lazy. Like, learn an instrument. You're lazy. But like, I'm gray area because I'm just like, I don't know. I think it could be useful if we just regulate it. You know, like I don't like it taking jobs. And again, with Microsoft laying off of King, like they laid off half of King, and then to be replaced with the very generative AI that they were asked to develop. Like, stab yourself with a sword that you've been forging. Like, that is wild to me, dude.
It like, I mean, with the patterns thing you were saying as well, they could just hire TISM workers and then get that going because I think they'll do the job right
Sure.
now.
That's a different replacing jobs with AI.
But it's just the level of sheer hypocrisy for me, because it's like, which when you point at someone, look at yourself in the mirror and what you're pointing out. Because, like, for example, these guys as well who've made Claire obscure, on that principle, let's disqualify them from everything. Let's take away Jennifer English's work. Let's take away from Charlie Cox's work. Let's take away everyone, because apparently this one little thing has happened, which is on the level of what they're doing, which is accountability. Yeah, not in the game, accountability, understanding, and perspective, because it tells you why they did it because of the way that they did it. Why is it blown up because of the Larian situation? Is it blown up for whatever else? And then again, it's like when people take the holier than thou altruistic value, look at yourself, because even if you keep saying, I don't like generative AI, you have investments in Microsoft, you have investments in some company, your future is deeply connected to these entities. It just annoys me, Adam, because I've seen it all the time when people like, well, tax the shareholders and stuff. You are one in the modern day climate. That is what capitalism is. Where do you think your pension is? I'm sorry, go look this up, please. Most people don't know where their pension's being invested. Even in your 401k, look where you're invested. Let's see what you actually are putting your hand in. Then it'll be interesting. It's that moral stance, which I don't like, where it's like, when people are like, let's change all our logos to the LGBTQIA community for the month, and then we'll go invest in Saudi Arabia for a little bit. And it's like, and I'm sorry, maybe it's just me because of how I act and the way I am, but I absolutely detest hypocrites. And it's the same with this indie game wars. It's like, let's see what you are using AI for. And if you have any hands, even if you're using it innocuously, let's see what it is. Even if it's generative AI, make your debate for it, conversation, and maybe have a discourse with the actual developers at Clare, because they've handled this, in my opinion, with absolute maturity. And again, it's that fine line of how much can you use with it. If, for example, Netflix say to Michelle and Don't Nod Montreal, you're using generative AI for placeholders, and the team are like, oh, we don't like that, but they're like, we have to use it, and they use it. Are you not going to buy a Michelle game ever again because of it? No, you wouldn't. Because you'd be like, actually, we support the developers who are doing this. Maybe we don't agree with the principles of it, but there you go. And it's like that, again, it's like, as you said, that gray area, which is now being blurred, because anything that's like Gen AI, people are snapping the conversation. This is the first time I'm being really open on my views with it. I'm usually very much coy in the fence on the fence with things. Do I support it? No.
But that's what I mean. I think
the situation.
I think there needs to be a regulation thing, because again, I will say this, that AI is useful. It's a useful tool, but like, once we replace the construction workers with hammers, that house is not going to get built. But like, what AI makes it the Homer hammer, the the electronic hammer. Like, it's just going to make the job go quicker.
Also, I'm more fearful of which companies use it, because like when Saudi Arabia backed EA is taking over, that's when I'm concerned with Gen AI and the people that are using it and who's using it, how they're using it, what they're using it, and what are the fine lines of it. So it's like, you disqualifying the game. Should we revote? No. Why are we revoting for this? It's the same with like, just for Ashley's example, like there's a famous example in Italy in the 2000s, football, soccer. Juventus win 2 league titles, they get stripped of them. So they win their top flight domestic league football titles. They're stripped because of a massive scandal that happens in Italy. Juventus get thrown into the lower league, and other teams as well, point deductions, etc. But what happens is they strip the titles. They are unofficial now. They are not recognized by the second place team. Didn't win it because you finished second. And ironically, the club Juventus still classes these titles as they've won. They say, we still won these titles. Officially doesn't count though. So it's like, what we're going to do, give it to second place. It's like, oh, well, you're second place. Here you go. Here's the trophy. No, it doesn't work like that. You can't recast your votes. The Indie Game Awards just stuck behind what it was and said, next year we're changing our parameters with AI. These are the reasons for it. Or at least reach out to the Clare Obscur Expedition 33 people and ask the questions for it. Because like the way that directors responded, I'm like, well, this is a nothing burger conversation. Because he's literally held accountability, gave justification for it, rationale, made it a fair response. And I'm like, okay, that's it. Like that's the end of the conversation. The Larian response is a bit, I'm not getting into that kind of worms right now, but like,
oh, here we go. I was actually looking for verbatim. I think we'll end it on this note, but the Jason Schreier, Blue Sky, right here. As the backlash to generative AI in video games continues to pick up steam heading to 2026, it'll be fascinating to see what is considered made with generative AI. Can a dev team say they're not using AI if they're writing design docs or, with Copilot or using ChatGPT to schedule and budgets? Like, it's one of those things like made with AI, like, can they not, like, again, they're writing design docs with Copilots. Like, there's some things where I'm just like, there's gray areas to this, like everything else. Yeah. Next question.
So yeah, thank you for that. I knew it was going to take a massive chunk of the episode out, but we'll try and get through.
Especially with Expedition 33. Again, to be disqualified from the indie, I'm like, there's other reasons why they shouldn't be in indie games. There's other reasons.
Oh dear. So Adam, actually, let's go for our last question from the Lost Fan, who's put here, assuming you haven't been asked this before, who would play you in the StrangeCast, the movie?
Christian Bale.
Emma Myers.
Emma Myers would play you?
Yeah.
Great.
I'm fully on the high train. That's two combos there. That'd be, we're not playing that game. Christian Bale. Chris Pratt could play you.
Okay, another white guy playing another white guy. Chris Pratt is like the butter and toast of actors.
Why not?
Great. Now we're talking about
Adam Evalt.
Are we talking about 2010 Chris Pratt or 2017 Chris Pratt?
Ooh, 2010.
Yeah, 2010 Chris Pratt, where he's on Parks and Rec. Yeah, that one.
I think that would be the one.
Yeah,
I think that would be you. Unfortunately, my choices are very limited for different reasons for picking who we're playing. We're going down that road.
For me, it's like pick any white guy with a beard, and there you go.
There we go. Actually, Falcon could play you in the movie.
Falcon. We don't even know what he looks like.
Got the voice.
Oh, it's great. I am Falcon. Yeah, really, for me, it's just like Christian Bale or Jake Gyllenhaal. Screw it. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to play me.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh God, that's just something else. Do you know what? if he was younger, Naveen Andrews could play me. He was Saeed in Lost.
Yeah. How old is dude?
Oh, he must be in his 50s now. Do you think?
Probably 52.
Because he must be in his 20s when he's recording Lost. He is now 56.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah, I think he could play me. I'm thinking of who else it was. Oh, actually, this is a really weird one. This guy, I'll give you a bit of context for this. This person thought I looked at the spitting image of this person. I did not get it at all. If you give me the reaction now, it's going to be something else. God damn it. Podcast recording. Here we go. For the people. So, we're still on screen, aren't we? Someone was convinced this looked like me.
God.
I didn't see it at all.
I feel like that's a racist statement.
So, in the context, I was out on like a night out with a couple of friends, and I was just outside doing something you don't want to know about, like, a couple of cigarettes and whatnot. And this guy kept looking at me, and he's like, "Look at me." I'm like, and I was like,
"You look."
And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "You look like this guy called Yoni Wolf, who's the singer of this band, which I can't remember which one it was, but what's the band now?" No, he's just an indie rock musician. And he's like, you look the exact spitting image of him. Show me the picture. I started laughing. I was like, do I look like him? It's like, not a chance in hell do I look like him. That was the one that he gave me. And I was like, that's probably the closest I've had for a comparison to anyone, to be honest.
You know what? This is going to make you laugh, though. Back when I was heavier and when I was a youth pastor, people all the time mistake me for this gentleman right here. Hold on. They're going to laugh. I thought I was Andy Mineo.
Oh, wow.
They're like, they would double take on me like, Andy Mineo? I was like, no. I would get second looks all the time because they thought I was Andy Mineo.
Do you know what, actually, now you mention it, my first podcast co-host, Chris, when I used to do the podcast with him years ago in the journalism industry, he told me, oh my God, he looks like who is that?
That's the same guy. That's Andy Mineo.
He looks like he's from like he looks like generative AI from San Andreas, like one of the gangsters that you'd like seen that. It's like, what is going on here? Like,
I would straight up get second looks all the time because they thought it was him.
The one that really hit me was when I used to do my old podcast with my co-host Chris. He once told me, it's like, when I was younger, I was in high school, it's like people used to say I look like Jason Biggs from American Pie. And then he showed me a photo and he looked so much like him. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, you actually look exactly like him. That's
Yoni Wolf, I feel like that's pretty. I'm gonna that's teetering on the line of racism.
Yeah, it's a little bit,
brown guy with glasses. That's you, Yoni Wolf.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to play me. I'm one of a kind. That's what it is. Yeah. It's very difficult to replace, it's great. It's hard to replace excellence.
You know who you look like, Adnan? You look like Aziz Ansari.
There you go. No, I don't know. Mahershala Ali would be a good choice, I think. Swagger flat.
Remind me, who is that person?
He's going to be Blade in the next film. He's in Moonlight, I think it is, and he's in House of Cards as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be probably me. That'd be Blade. Otherwise, it's going to have to be a new up and coming actor because it's like that's probably where we're going to have to go with this. So don't really know many people who play me.
Yeah,
sums me up though, doesn't it? Also, as well, I don't need to be played. I play the role every single day of my life. So, but yeah. Adam, let's go into our next question. We'll go to Mr. Kevin Lackner, who hasn't made an appearance yet in this podcast. So, pull him up here. And we're going to go back to our Patreon. Let's have a look at these. So, we're going to go back to we'll do Sims one later. Well, actually, let's get that Life is Strange one, Adam, in as well. What power is missing in the Life is Strange series should be in the next Life is Strange power?
Honestly, man, like if we're talking about Life is Strange, these are all powers that have to do with trauma. And I would say invisibility is a trauma power, like not wanting to be seen or being neglected. So you're always not being seen. It can be used as like a stealth mechanic, of course, or just like to spy on somebody. But if we're talking about like, again, Life is Strange 1, you're trying to reverse because you're indecisive. You're like, I don't know, like, can I turn back time? In Life is Strange 2, the destructive power of Daniel, just because like everything around him is being destroyed, so he's destroying others around him. He's putting up a wall around him. So we're talking about that. Invisibility is neglect. So I think that's missing from Life is Strange.
See, it's funny as well because they were so close that with Safi and the shapeshifting.
They were very, very close, but they made it to way of like an X-Men instead of like what the trauma power is. Even Life is Strange True Colors, where she can see others people's auras, no one noticed her feelings, but she notices others' feelings. You know, like that is a form of like, I've been neglected, but I don't want to feel you to feel neglected. That understood Life is Strange better than we've seen before. So I would say, invisibility is my vote.
Yeah, I think it's probably. Yeah, I think invisibility is a good one. It probably would be a good choice as well to take with that. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say, to be honest, as well. Like what power, because it has to be relatable, as you say, it has to be relatable to something. Because like funny when you mention invincibility, because I don't know if you ever watched the TV show Misfits.
Invisibility,
yeah. when you watch the
Yeah.
TV, watch the TV show Misfits? It was an English TV show. You might not watched it. Yeah, it's basically it's a very English TV show, but like the concept is it's like 4 juvenile kids. They get powers, each of them. And one of the kids who's in there as well, he basically gets the power of invisibility, but he only gets it when people ignore him. So when people ignore him, he becomes invisible. So he becomes invisible, no one can see him. So it's like it's not a controlled power.
Wait.
It's one of those where it's activated by.
That kind of sounds like Extraordinary.
Might be similar, but this is actually Misfits. This is
it's similar.
Thing,
But like, it's different because invisibility with that. But in Extraordinary, he can only go back and forth between time when there's something traumatic going on. So yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Very upset that Extraordinary got canceled. Very, very upset about that. Thanks to
some
Disney.
TV shows. There's some TV shows that got cancelled. I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah, I don't really know what other powers you could like take from someone.
The power of tariffs.
Imagine that. Or take away the power of generative AI for thingy. I don't really know what power I'd give, like, because obviously the powers are important. This is a Square Enix thing, and also as well, no invisibility for you, Mr. Evalt. Out of budget, not a chance that's happening. We ain't doing that.
You think anybody neglects me ever? No.
They're taking the budget. You can't gone. See you later. See now. Oh, it's too X many. No, it's too X many.
I'll say
so you'd have to have the characters. I really like Rogue's power from X-Men, which can take other people's powers.
I would say this year, you don't want to read a book, but you should read comics, and you should read the Extraordinary X-Men. I think you should read that one. Like it's a good balance. You're not reading a book, but there's pictures. Like, but there's.
Can I have my crayons as well, please, Adam, as well, whilst you're doing that.
Call it in your comic book. No one collects them. They're not resell value. And that's the other thing. You can resell comics too. But yeah, Extraordinary X-Men. That's an X-Men series that like really stars Rogue. You would definitely have a lot of fun reading that.
There you go. Yeah, see, that would be something if you expanded the universe. I wouldn't mind like taking other people's powers and then using them in different ways. But again, too X-Men, too cartoonish.
No, that is a trauma response. You know, trying to take others' personality and put it onto yours. Now, again, we're talking about Safi, shape shifting, but like it's a little different.
Yeah, I'd also like one where it's like it's an uncontrolled power. And when it happens, it happens. So it's like almost like a banshee siren. Yeah. Well, like in that vein, where it's like it's an uncontrolled power. If certain factors went against you in the game and certain things happen, your character will like react in that way. So there's a full trauma response where it's like you actually have no control over the power. Daniel's probably the best example of that because you see it as well when trauma happens. You see things happen to him. He can't control his powers with certain things. So I think like even if it's like a banshee scream or some like massive siren that goes off, like you start making a noise because of it. That's one. Or maybe fire. I'd like to breathe fire. I think that's probably a good one. That'd be an interesting one.
Right. They could have the same powers as Beast in X-Men, and that's going through puberty.
There you go. Yes. Or I'd be getting the power of reading the future. Actually, yeah, fast forwarding time, going straight into the lottery store.
So Raven Simone?
Yeah, going straight into the lottery store. Boom. Tickets.
Yes.
Life is Strange. Quadruple exposure pops up in the credits. Done. Finished. Lottery winner. That's all I need. So yeah, no, very interesting question. I'll come back to that if I can think of one. I couldn't really think of one off the top of my head. It's really quite hard, isn't it? Thinking of the powers. Like what else would you
I came up with 3 right off the bat. So
I mean, you like nick some of those. Like invisibility is the same as Safi.
I'm also very, very traumatized as a child, so I know all the trauma powers.
Well, I'm also traumatized, but I'm wearing too many masks at this point, so it's like I've already got the power in place. It's a constant, isn't it? So yeah,
and that's the other thing with Rogue's power. It's masking.
Yeah. See, there's one that might be interesting, which I think like it comes down to if you I think it would be an extension of Alex's power, or it'd be a power where if you can have the option to grab a character, like hold their grab them, and then you can read their mind. And it's an ethical choice, like, do you read the character's mind or not? So it's like situations that arise where it's like you can get their true feelings, like their inner thoughts, rather than just what's being said in the moment. Yes. So it's kind of a bit of a lie detector kind of thing. Maybe there's an option. So that's where you will. So yeah, let's move away from trauma. There's too much going on here. Anyway, Ashlyn, back to Ashlyn. We've got Ashlyn.
Yeah.
Questions. There you go. If Lost Records Bloom Rage was turned into a movie or show, who would you think would be best to play the roles of the cast?
Oh man. I want Olivia Lepore to show up somewhere. Honestly, man, they casted so well that I'm just like, I would honestly want the voice actors to play themselves in the movie, because like that's always special whenever you see like a video game adaptation into a movie and like the voice actor is in there, or like reprising the role, or even more like the Mario movie where Mario's original voice actor, I can't remember his name.
Terrible.
Shoot. I can't remember his name. But the original voice actor played Jumpman in the Mario movie. So like that was like a fun little. I always enjoy it when they play their original roles. So I would want the cast, like all of them, to play themselves in the movie. And I know they're too old, or at least like their adult selves. I don't know.
Olivia Lepore is going to walk into the room like Joey in that episode where she's like, I can play like a 16-year-old kid.
I can't.
Let's say animated.
Yeah. What's that?
Let's say it's animated. Who'd you pick?
The voice actors.
Outside of the voice actors, you're not allowed to pick them. Olivia Lepore is on tour with Taylor Swift. You can't be doing that. Amelia's winning an Oscar. All the other things are happening. The actors are too busy.
Okay, so Olivia's character, Swan. Swan, I would want. I would want.
So you're missing a big option here. Because I'd just say Hannah Tell.
I was gonna say I'm not saying Emma Myers. These are hard ones because again, like we don't really see characters like this a lot.
No.
Like because it is touching so much on the 90s and 90s aesthetic. We're missing a lot of that. Yeah.
I'm casting Hannah Tell as Swan Holloway for the voice acting. There we go. Nail the voice authenticity. We got the character down there. Nailed.
Yeah. No, I would want them to be like unknown again. It's always fun when they're unknown. It honestly is. Yeah. Like honestly. But like if Lost Records Bloom Rage was turned into a movie or a show, I always enjoy it when the original cast is like within the realms. It's always a nice touch. And again, like going back to the first Wicked, right? And they had the original Broadway actresses like in a spot into this. Krista Chenoweth and Idina Menzel are in the movie. So I would say, yeah, like the original cast. That's my call.
I would cast Johnny Galvatron as Corey. You do a proper good Corey voice. That'd be great. That.
I mean, honestly, like because they just fit the role so well. Like honestly, it's perfect. It's perfectly cast. I can't really think of anybody who would play them better.
And also as well, it's hard. I know this is just a hypothetical and it's like, fun question. It's just hard to do the kind of film idea because it is kind of a film, isn't it? The game just becomes.
Yes, I mean.
Yeah. This is the problem I had with Metal Gear for years. During the game, it was like let's make it into a movie. It's are we missing the point here? It's like, are we missing the point here? It's literally a movie anyway. Doesn't need it.
That's my votes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be very hard. It'd be really hard though. This is where, for example, the Life is Strange TV show has so many hurdles because, like, oh man, I would not want to be the TV showrunner on that because, like, even casting characters to meet specifications. I always find it weird that bringing any actor in to play Max and they don't meet Michelle. That's a very strange thing. Because I think the interview of Olivia was very interesting afterwards when she's like, "Oh, I see what you mean by Michelle." So I'm like, "That's interesting. You didn't notice that." And the projection is happening from him and Jean-Luc. I'm like, that's like your source material, isn't it? You kind of like want to rub yourself off on that person. It's like, I want to know who they are and stuff. Christian Bale will be all over and be like, "What are you saying, Michelle?" Exactly. he'd be like, he's like, what are you doing here, Christian? Get out of here. Like, but I think with with this scenario and as boring as it is, I would call people boring for us. You'd want really unknown actors and like in the most unknown quantity, and then go with that. I would still cast Emma Myers for every role if I had the chance, but that's just me on the Emma Myers hype train. But
on that note, I would want Michelle to play Gus and Luke to play Pam.
That's something else. Oh my god, that's something. That's some suggestion with that. Oh yeah, I think so. I think that.
Yeah. Now, next question.
Yeah, next question. So, why did I close that? I didn't need to close that.
I don't know.
I'm going to open it up. Also, as well, one thing as well, whilst they're making this movie, you'd see Sam Bradley walking behind with props and hiding them in certain places. It's like, who's that? And it's like, oh, he's just hiding things. He's making it. He's adding the Easter eggs into the game, into the TV show and film. Lost thing with some of the adaptations. I agree with you where you see some of the actors come back and play certain characters. I wish there was more like on the nose Easter eggs within certain things, but as you will, you can't choose in lieu of everything. Okay, so Lost fans questions were done. Kevin. Where are we going with Kevin? Let's go with that one. That's a bit of a vague one.
Okay. What language do you guys speak?
Oh, actually, look at that. He's put any films this year. Ooh, that was thingy. Oh, this year, next year, I imagine. But
yeah.
That one. What languages do you guys speak and would you like to learn more? That's an interesting one.
Konniwa keiki desu ka? That's something I'm gonna say. Or korewa keiki desu ka? Yabai. I speak little Japanese, little bit of French. I'm still learning French. But I to answer your question, Kevin, I can barely speak English. So learning a new language is, it's just more of like a hobby thing. I've since of course I was on a Duolingo train, but once they said like, oh, we're going to be AI first, I backed out of the train so hard, not because of like, oh, I hate you AI, but I'm like, this is not going to be practical. Like if you're going to go off of AI teaching me a language when it's AI, this is going to be the most impractical way to learn a language possible. I do have if you're interested in learning an audiobook, let me just bring it up. There is this one called Doom Guy. There's this one called Learn French with Paul Noble, and he walks you through of like how the language is spoken in French and like the grammar, but because it is by a French teacher, I found that more useful than Duolingo. So
interesting.
So I would say if you want to learn a language, go on an audiobook. There's plenty of like books that say like here's more specifically audiobooks so that like you hear it and it's from a teacher from that language. So I want to learn. I'm probably 2026. I'm going to learn French.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So does Tism speak as a language? No, it doesn't. Obviously English, which would be one. I can understand Hindi through and through. I can't speak it really. I can sing the songs. I can understand it, all of it. I can understand all Punjabi, but I can't speak all of it. I can speak parts of it. It's definitely nowhere near as proficient as it once was. My mum could write Urdu. She used to be able to write beautiful writing as well. Like you looked at it, she doesn't do it anymore. It's weird. I always tell her every single time she should write letters back home and stuff. She doesn't do it. Like she can write in the most unbelievable way you see it as well. But those are the two languages I speak. I wish I would have learned how to speak Japanese. I had the opportunity when I was at uni. They were offering a free course at like the basic level, and then you could pay for advanced courses if you wanted to learn. I just never did it, and I regret that. My biggest regret is not learning French because I was like, God damn it! I was like, I didn't expect me to end up covering Don't Nod and all these other things. I was like, that would be great. I have like a little accomplice who I message about French stuff. I'm like, can you just translate this for me? And they are very lovely about translating it for me. But like, I wish I could have spoken French. But fortunately, I missed the main languages, which I want. French is a big one, man. I was like, It's like, God damn it, man. I was like, I wish I would have listened to French class.
There's only one word you need for Japanese. It's just yabai. Yabai. It literally means gross, but also delicious. It means disgust, but also celebration. Like anything that you can say, it's just you eat a good food, like, oh, yabai. You see a car crash, oh, yabai. Like it's just, it means everything. So if you go to Japan, just say yabai to everything.
There you go. Yeah, bye. I'd also like to speak the national language of Pretoria. If you know your Family Guy history, then like, I love that. I watched that recently. My God, they were great with that TV show. He's like the great state of Pretoria. It's like my favorite part is when he conquers Joe's god to his pool,
Yeah.
and the entire military is like, he's like, who's going to stop you? Whose army? The U.S. Army. Oh,
US.
Oh God. Yeah, there you go. So that's that. Adam, I think we should go to Ashlyn. This is an interesting question for Ashlyn.
Oh, okay.
Top
What
5
language?
favorite topics, or including interviews you talked about in 2025.
Of course, one is a given with Michelle and Luke. Like that is a given. Topics. I would say. Well, like I would say, like I wouldn't say my favorite topic, but the most interesting topic was covering like all the Deck 9 layoffs. Like that was just interesting to like God dang, dude, they are just butchering this studio. So I would say it's not my favorite to talk about, but it was just interesting. I was like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? So like my 5 are Michelle and Luke, of course. Covering that. Sam Bradley was always fun. Sam's a cool guy. I found out that he just hangs out with Jim Guthrie. I'm just like, okay, just hanging out with Jim Guthrie. That's fine. Not even. Yeah.
There's one topic that would surprise you. One interview that we did this year, you might have forgotten about.
How would I know Olivia Lepore, of course.
There's another one as well.
Who am I missing?
The G-Man himself, cigar smoking business.
That was this year?
Yeah, that was this year.
That was this.
Because the game came out in 2024, didn't it?
Oh my God. We interviewed him this year? Oh my God, what a long year, guy. Yeah, if I remembered Backer, because I was here. I was in this room. Yeah, so we had to have interviewed him here.
Double exposure
my God.
Sorry, I was changing my headphones, by the way. I was like, great. 2024 Double came out. Backer interviews in April.
Wow. Yeah, God, dude, I forgot that was this year. So yeah, Backer, of course. It was just an interesting year all around. Covering a Netflix deal with Don't Nod. That's always fun.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Yeah, and of course, like Lost Records,
There's some great ones. I think, like, obviously it's hard for me because there's like so many interviews I did this year, and I kind of like can't really leave people out because it's like got Ruth Radley in there, and Amelia, Andrea, Olivia, Sam Bradley, Michelle, Luke, and Jesus Christ. There's so many crazy Backer as well. Backer was great. So funny. So chilled about everything.
I think that was this year though. Like, God, dude, holy hell. Yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy for that. So
I still think of like me like talking with them in my Fargo room, but like no, like this is, oh my God, I was here in Raleigh. Yeah,
it's crazy how quick the time goes and how much you forget about things as well. I think like
it was April.
What's that? Yeah, around April.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
The Double Exposure came out in 2024. So Double Exposure came out, and then Backer's interview came out in about April when we did the stuff with him, which was like always nice as well. So for me, like I'll pick out certain interviews just for the sake of it. Like obviously I love all the interviews; they're great. Michelle and Luke was a dream interview. That was just unbelievable, an opportunity. I adored every minute of it. Sam again was amazing as well, just like amazing insight into the art and stuff like that in between it. I really enjoyed the interview with Backer as well. I really enjoyed the interview with Backer. He was great, and everything else with it. I'm not going for 5. I'm going for everyone. Olivia was fantastic. I loved that first interview we did with Olivia. Even the second one was really good as well. The Q&A as well, which was really nice. Amelia was fun because it was me and Abby as well. That was an interesting kind of like way of doing things, and she was really chill about things. And obviously she's now nominated for a New York Game Award, which is amazing as well. So well deserved. Personal favorite was Andrew Carter as well, which I thought was a really good interview to do as well.
Ooh, yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one, actually.
Which I really enjoyed with that as well. Victoria Diamond also was a very, very fun interview as well for me. Hang on a second, what's going on here? Why is the music playing my AirPod?
That is weird.
Okay, I'm going to have to move that back in a second. Just to double check we're all still on here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I don't know what's going on there. My music just started playing from my Mac. I'm like, great. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, Victoria Diamond was a great interview. I really enjoyed that one as well. Like, you know, when actors don't necessarily want to do certain parts, like those kind of interviews are not used to it. It's always interesting to see what happens with them. So Victoria Diamond was a delight. I think she's great. I think she's really talented. Ruth Radley, always fun as well. It's great meeting her in person as well, which was a highlight. Topic wise, one of my favorite topics, so very recent, you missed it as well, and it was the Chloe Price one in the top 50 Guinness World Records one. Because you didn't know about it.
Well, that was my favorite because like you had refused to believe that Steve from Minecraft is iconic.
He's not iconic. Minecraft is iconic. Steve is not iconic. He's just not. He's just.
But
really
Steve is Minecraft. Like he's the icon. He's the logo.
No, we're not buying that. I'm not having that. That's like saying no. He's like new Coke to Coke him. He's not part of the Coke brand. He's just a name in there. He's a faceless figure.
Of course.
No, that was one of my favorites because you didn't know about that happening. I kind of bought that. I was like, okay, and it's the setup for it with that person tweet. I was like,
and I'm not on Twitter, so I wouldn't have seen that.
And no one really saw. No one picked up the book. It's like no one's going to actually like look for that. It's like tons of content you can make something if you're working for a site, but there's the lack of journalism to actually go and invest in those little things. It's an easy hit for some of these big websites, but as you will. So yeah, I think those were some of that real highlights. All the interviews were great, really enjoyable. Hopefully, I can try and get some more next year, time pending and stuff. And then yeah, the Chloe Price one was a delight as a topic. That was really fun. That was really funny as an episode.
Yes.
Deck 9 one was really hard for me. I think Webb's layoff was really hard for me, and Zach's one was really horrible for me to hear as well. I think those two were really. It was hard to do. One of the things I find as well, doing layoff coverage is easier. Doing layoff coverage easy, and this is what one templating easy in. Layoff coverage is more palatable when you don't know the person. So you know the names and stuff, but when you know it's someone that you actually know, that was really horrible to do those. I did not enjoy that. And even on Montreal, it wasn't even just Deck 9, remember? It was Montreal. So it was like when Mary got laid off and stuff, I was like,
yeah.
Well, that's like really like just, ugh. So yeah, I think those are the topics I'd pick. So that's that.
Yeah, no, it was a good year. A long year. Now I think about it, but it was a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, should we do one more before we sign off then for this?
Let's do two more. Let's do two more.
Two more. So there's a big Kevin Lackner one here if you want to do that, or do you want to do the fun one?
I'll just do the fun one, and I got a quick one for that one.
Oh, there you go. So how was your 2025 in a Simpsons meme?
Sure. Up for interpretation. Just that whole episode is 2025 for me. Oh no, it's Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis in your kitchen in this time of day.
I'm sorry. I'm going to read this as well. You might want to fast forward 30 seconds. In Pluribus, Aurora Borealis happens in that. At one point, and Aurora Borealis at this time, in this place, standardized in your kitchen.
No. Yeah. But that whole short is 2025 for me.
Oh, damn. There you go. Mine is this one. I don't know if it's a meme, but I'm going to count it as a meme because I've typed in meme and it popped up as a meme. So this one's me.
Just in the shadows.
In the shadows. And then also that's also me as well. Where Spinners gets caught.
I actually like that meme format.
Yeah.
Just like shining the light on it. That's a great meme format.
That's also very cool as well. That feels very acute for, I don't know what it is, but there's me and you. I think that's me shouting.
Yes.
That's Luke behind us in the car.
That's great.
So I think that's probably my 2025 summed up in a meme, forever in the shadows, as you will. So there you go. And then you said one more, didn't you?
Let's see this long one from Kevin Lackner.
You're not going back to Ashlyn. You're just going to stick with.
I want to see what he has to say here. I want to see what he has to say.
So he's put on the off chance that you know anything about this. In Life is Strange 2, when Daniel and Sean visit their grandparents, the snowy town is called Beaver Creek. Do you think Don't Nod took inspiration from Beaver Creek in Colorado, has a giant / expensive ski resort, or is the name of Beaver Creek more common than I realized? Fun fact, I know Beaver Creek in Colorado because they hold sky races there, which I even broadcast on the Austrian. What's that?
You said sky races. This is ski races.
Did I say ski races?
You said sky races.
Oh my God, right. Never mind. Ski races there, which are even broadcast on Austrian national TV, ORF. I'm a big fan of ski racing and the Olympics, and it's hilarious that our TV presenter, even after 20 years, can't pronounce / butchers Beaver Creek or the slope called Birds of Prey every time. I'll find the meme regarding our TV presenter. I'll add it. And he's put this in here, so I'm going to pull this up as well.
Very nice.
Share this tab. Is it shared?
Yes, I see it.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Boats of play. boats of play. That's great. I would say, to answer your question, Kevin, I would say, yeah, it might be. If it's internationally known, Beaver Creek in Colorado, and it's all snowy, like internationally in the way that like you know it from Austria, I would say, yeah, there's a good chance that Michelle knew it from Paris. So, because at the time, with Life is Strange 2, they were still in Paris. So, I'm gonna say, yeah, pretty good chance.
Didn't they visit America when they were
race?
doing this game?
Didn't
Michelle and Jean-Luc go visit?
Because they visited America when they made Life is Strange 1, did they not?
Yeah, I feel like they visited it.
Yeah, they always visit America. It's the greatest country in the world.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, I do wonder about that. They must have like it does sound like a quite generalized name as well. If someone said in England there's a Beaver Creek, it wouldn't surprise me. It just feels like a kind of like thing there.
But because it's in a ski resort and they're in a snowy town, I'm gonna say, yeah, they probably took inspiration from it. Yeah.
So for the there is a Beaver Creek in Oregon as well. Or inspiration. No, so it can draw inspirations from Oregon, primarily near Mountain Hood and the Willamette National Forest.
Oh, I forgot, dude. I totally forgot. I got an answer from Sam Bradley about the the Shivers Lane T-shirt.
There you go. There's your exclusive.
Oh, I forgot. So Sam Bradley, if you don't know, is this a reference to R.L. Stine? Is this for the Shivers Lane T-shirt? Sam said, like someone is saying in that Reddit thread, it is indeed a homage to Fear Street /R.L. Stine /Christopher Pike. Loved these books as a kid and have a whole shelf of them still. It was very satisfying to have an excuse to pull them out and photograph them for reference. The illustration for one of them was by Andrea Silva. So yes, Shivers Lane is brought to you by R.L. Stine.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to say you're reading into it too much.
No, he actually said it's inspiration from R.L. Stine cover books. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So there we go. We are done. We're at the end of the end of our part of the show. So thank you for joining us. I think obviously we've got a what have we got next? Spread the arts. No, it's Comment the Podcast. Comment the Podcast.
Yes, Comment the Podcast. Yes.
So we're going to Comment the Podcast. So we're going to our first part, which is from Side A, Fallen Gemini, has posted here saying, Merry Christmas. I'm glad that Adam mentioned how boring the music in DE was, since I thought I was the only one. I think the issue with the music in D9 Life is Strange games were how they were similar to one another. What helped Life is Strange 1 and Life is Strange 2 were variety of the genre, the music they had. This isn't a shade to Tessa Rose Jackson, and she did great, but more so with D9 and or Square Enix, whoever was in charge of using licensed songs, maybe the director of the game. Even though Don't Nod had musical artist Jonathan Morelli of Sid Meier's composer for Life is Strange 1 and 2, they used licensed and stock songs from other artists. These songs also worked with scenes like Sean overslept for work while the song Dance by Churches. Is it Churches? That's Churches, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Played in the montage. The energetic song went well with the scene because Sean had to move or dance to get to work in a hurry.
Yeah, I will just say this, that you can definitely tell when a director is playing helicopter parents over the artist. I'm just going to put it that way. There are definitely times where the director is like very hyper specific of what they want with the music, and you can 100% tell. You can 100% tell.
Like Hannah Tell.
Well, I mean, if I speak, I'm gonna get in trouble.
I expect a Thomas Murch timestamp for my pun there, so I'm gonna leave that there.
Yes.
So I agree with a lot of points that I made in there. I really do. Like they don't. I think this is why I think we had a massive conversation on True Colors when we were talking about what was it, Angus and Julia Stone's soundtrack, and we were saying, why is it not as memorable as the other ones? And it feels like it's kind of like just, in a tempo. It feels like, oh, this is the sound. It's like, you have Nova Amore's Haven, for example, which stands out from there. And I think they even did pretty good with licensed soundtracks. They had like Kings of Leon and stuff like that, but it's like, it never adds more to the dynamic of the game. And I think like you see that with Twin Peaks, and you do like dun dun, the music they're playing there. It's very like it again, Lynchian, Michelian, Michelle Code style thing. You have to like really like. There's a sign of a great game director and a developer who uses music, and I think like Michelle's like that with music, and the same with like Kojima as well. Like Kojima's been using like Low Roar and Churches and stuff like that. He like they know when to put music in, they know when to put licensed tracks in. They have much more of a finer balance. I think with the Tessa Rose Jackson score, it's like you have the songs and they're all quite toned in certain things, and it's like when the game shifts to a darker tone, it doesn't really accommodate it, barring Illusions, which is the only one. Everything else is upbeat, and it doesn't really add that kind of like contrasting thing. But again, the development changed like God knows how many times in this game, so it might have just been out of their remit by the time they were doing it. I think they needed probably a better selection of indie artists as well. Outside, I mean, like Tessa Rose Jackson is the biggest indie artist they could get. I feel like they should have diversified a bit more and got some other ones. Because I feel like outside Chloe Morondo, I don't really think Dodie and New Dad, is it? That was on the soundtrack. And then who was the other one? Was it Matilda Thingy? Was it Matilda something? Was it Matilda? Why do I keep saying Matilda McCann? Matilda Man?
I don't know.
Man? Who was on the soundtrack, I think it was. So like I think again, like they need to diversify a bit more. I think they don't really handle it. Life is Strange 2 does a really good job. Even like Natalie being in there from Milk and Bone and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Great. They really did that. And even Gorillas is in it as well, which is always good as well.
Yes.
So yeah, great comments. Thank you so much for that. So Adam at Snotty Soul is appearing at the end of 2025, being snotty.
Right.
And they put here at the end of episode 126 side B, in my opinion, Bloom and Rage soundtrack had the best music out of any game this year. It's as good or better than Life is Strange 1 soundtrack.
Which you had your take on. I will say it's as good as Life is Strange 1. I am just so enamored with Life is Strange 1's soundtrack that I'm just like, man, because it fit 2015 so well. You know what I mean? Like it was just such an encapsulation of what 2015 was as a year that it's hard, man. Whereas like Lost Records Bloom and Rage is their soundtrack is such a 90s. It fit the mold for what that game was. It was a good soundtrack to like really encapsulate what that game was. But the Life is Strange 1 soundtrack, it was a like even outside the game, it fit of what life was like. So before Donald Trump took American politics, like it's just it was nice and peaceful, very nice. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing that it's better. I'm just like it's a bias for me. It's 100% a bias.
It's hard, man. That's first soundtrack. It's like even when you look at some of the licensed songs, it's like Breton playing in the Vortex Club Party. I'm like, not many games can get away with that. Not many games can get away with that. But it fits.
Yeah, I'm insanely biased for the Life is Strange 1, so I can't really say if it's better because I'm going to be straight up biased.
They really are two really phenomenal soundtracks either way. They really are. Like, it's hard to kind of justify, because even when I go back and listen to Morelli score, it's like something quite just like,
yeah,
truly like something from a 2015 Sundance Vibe Festival. And it's like, it comes out like that and it just shows it hits so many beats so well. But then even like the Ruth Radley soundtrack, like, because obviously, like, even if the game is set in the 90s, like Forgone is on there. They used Forgone in the game from Milk and Bone, which came from their Baby Dreamer EP. And that's like a proper, like, 2022, like proper, like, we're in a banger kind of like era of like music. And that's from that EP, which is fantastic as well. So yeah, very, very good thing you comment. I kind of switched between the two of them with Bloom and Rage and Life is Strange 1 soundtrack. It's very hard to kind of define which one is the best out of the two of them sometimes. I do narrowly edge towards Bloom and Rage just because of the vibe of what it's doing. So yeah, that's that. So we're done with comment on the podcast. Thank you for that. If you want to leave your comments on the podcast, please do. We'll pick them out and put them in the next episode, which is, greatly appreciated. Adam, spread the arts. What are you spreading today?
I'm still reading Shadow of the Gods, and then I started another book. So it's going to take me longer to read. I know. It's called I'm not sure if I can recommend it or not. It's a very hard recommend. It's The Man Who Died 7 Times, because there is incest in the book, and it's just very, not just incest. It's like it's incest.
Is it triggering?
No, it's just weird. Like, it's just weird. Like, that's the thing. It's hard to explain without spoiling it. It's hard to explain because it's just a very hard recommend. So I'm enjoying my read with it. You just really have to separate like the themes of the book. Like, it is very much a theme of the book. I find that a lot with Japanese novelists. That's just like, man, you really gotta separate from what the themes are from this book. The Ring, especially, man. Or even Miso Soup. There's one book with Miso Soup is in the title, and you really gotta separate yourself from it. That's a lot of Japanese novelists, which is crazy to think about. But I would like to spread. You know what? I'm not even finished with this game. If you have a PlayStation 5 and somehow have not played Astrobot, I'm telling you right now, man, there's something special about this game, man. It's really fun. It is what I like about Astrobot. It is full around a video game. Like, it is just a dick around video game. It gets you hooked. It's a collectathon that wants you to collect. It kind of like, it's game design that should be studied. Like, it is game design in a way, like, it is a collectathon, but it rewards you for collecting, and it doesn't really have to nudge you to collect. Like, you want to collect. So it is by far some of the most perfect game design that we've seen in a long time. So yeah, I'm not even finished with it yet. I'm just kind of taking my time with it. But Astrobot, man, just a fun game if you're on PS5. And then again, The Man Who Died 7 Times. I'm almost done that book. It's just it's a very hard like recommend. It's incredibly hard to recommend that book. It's wild, dude. But yes,
how did he die 6 times before?
I can't spoil it. Like
Mm.
well, I can actually spoil it sort of because it is the premise of the book. Like if you read the back of the book, it is a time loop murder mystery
Mm.
within a rich family. So so I can say that it is a time loop murder mystery.
Oh,
But
interesting.
like a lot of Japanese novelists, you really gotta separate the mind from the themes, dude. It is I don't know what it is over there. I don't know what they're eating, but I mean, besides ramen and you know, you buy delicious food. Something about it, man. Japanese novels is like they're like, screw you, you're gonna read this. Okay, I will.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Interesting shout. Mine's going to be simple. Just keep it as it is. Pluribus. Go and watch it. Make your opinion on it. See what you
Make your
think about
opinion.
it. See where
Yeah.
you go on that. As I said, very conflicted about certain parts of that. Lots to be
I would
said
say
there for that.
I was just about to say you kind of see it with Hideo Kojima too. Like not really separating yourself. It's not that's the best way I can put it. It's like it's a hard recommend because of the themes that Hideo puts in that it's not problematic. That's the best way I can put it. It's not a problematic like theme, but it's just like you've really got to sit with it with Hideo, you know? You really got to sit with it.
Ignore
But
him.
yes,
Kojima's
Pluribus.
perfect. He does everything perfect. So there you go. But yeah, Pluribus, yeah, go and watch it. It's an interesting TV show. See what you think about it. I'll go in blind as well. Like we very much left that first part blind as it is. I think you should really go in and just watch it and see what you think about it. Obviously, you probably got my opinion, which you know it is what it is. But like at least you got like a clear perspective of not knowing anything that's really going on in there. So I would recommend watching that. So that's my pick. But yeah, we're at the end of the show. So thank you for joining us. One more time as well. Big shout out to our Patreon users. So we got Kevin Lackner, Sunday, Claire McLoughlin, Jake, Carly, Goldberry, Kevin Kestis, Clarx, MrAnselmi, Spunger, Lost Fan, Paul Groschke, Xavier, Ashlyn Nala, and Katelyn. So thank you so much for supporting Patreon. Obviously, when we go into January 2026, there will be another Patreon podcast episode, which we'll put out. Hopefully, in the first week, I can put the Patreon incentive, which I'm going to be looking to add soon. There's no specific date for it, but we'll let you know once we kind of get a bit more.
I turned 35.
When the wheels are in motion for it.
January. Just
saying.
Do
you? Jesus Christ, that's old.
When's my birthday? Does anybody remember? Because I've said it 3 times on the podcast in the last like 4 episodes. Yeah,
it's January 11th.
No, it's when the insurrection happened. I turned 30 during the insurrection. I didn't know what was happening. Yeah, I turned 30 that day. And everybody's like, have you been watching it? I'm like, I've been watching Superman. What are you talking about? Like, I did not know what was happening because I was celebrating my 30th. So yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's more than fair enough for the reason for that. So yeah, Adam will turn old and then we'll also have more time as well. Talk about many things because I'm sure 2026 will be a very, 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 very fun year for a lot of people. Or bad year, depending on what happens. But anyway, let's leave on that note. So thank you for joining us. If you are new here, one more time, please do consider dropping subscribe to the channel, turn notifications, like the video, and share with your friends. And also StrangeCast available on all podcast services. Check us out on Spotify with a video version, Apple Podcasts, Lost Records Journals available on both of those as well. So go and check them out as well. It'll be greatly appreciate any support you can give on the podcast. Right, at the end of 2025, thank you so much for joining us for another year. It has been a very interesting year, especially in the post-aftermath of double exposure. We are getting old things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And obviously, thank you so much for the support on the Lost Records Journal and everything else in between. It's been one hell of a year. And we'll see you in 2026. Take care, guys. Bye.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.